Welcome. We're courtside with head basketball coach Justin Jennings. Courtside with Justin Jennings, presented by Walker Brothers Chevrolet, serving Northwest Pennsylvania for more than 100 years. Tumultuous would be. We've got some games to talk about, but there's a lot of Borough fans that don't necessarily know the new basketball coach. Yeah. Kind of an odd hiring. I mean, there's a short window, brand new roster. We'll get to all that. But, for the folks that haven't gotten a chance to really sort of meet you, here's your opportunity. You played at Barron. You've coached a bunch of places. Just sort of tell us about the journey here to Edinboro.
Yeah. Obviously, played at Penn State Barron, like you mentioned. Had a 4-year career there and stuck around there for a couple years while I got my MBA and started the whole coaching journey. Left there, spent 3 years at Carnegie Mellon, and then got my first head coaching opportunity at the United States Military Academy Prep School. So I was at Army Prep for 3 years, working with a lot of guys, and then I moved over to be an assistant at the academy under Zach Spiker, and we were able to do a lot of great things there. We had a class there, which would have been my first prep school class, that ended up being the winningest class of all time in over 100 years, really. And they won had a winning record for 4 straight years, which no program had done at Army for since the 60s. So just a special group I had there, and that success there was able to catapult my boss, Zach Spiker, to get the job at Drexel. We spent 7 years at Drexel together, taking from a program that had won 6 games all the way to going to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 25 years. So it was a great opportunity to work for him, and I thought after 7 years it just felt like the right time to explore other opportunities to run my own program, and this one came open, and it certainly opened my eyes right away. Obviously, my father played football here in the 70s, so Fighting Scots in my blood, and I can remember the bagpipes when I was a kid coming back here for homecoming games with my old man. So when this came open, it was something we jumped at. My wife going to high school at General McLean as well. There's family ties to the area, and just excited to be here, really.
Now, I'm always curious when guys come down, in terms of the recruiting. It's different. There's no such thing as a full scholarship. You got to get a little creative. And this is a very difficult league that, even prior to the transfer portal, was a very transfer-driven league. Is that a pro or a con, or have you figured that out yet, making the switch to come down? Have you figured? I mean, obviously you've recruited a brand new roster, quite frankly. But is that an advantage you have with the D1 experience, or is it different because you can't just say, here's a full boat, kid, come play hoops? Yeah,
I mean, I certainly think it helped being at that level with some of the connections I was able to make over the my 12 years at the Division I level. When we took this job, our motto was 8 guys in 80 days. So we were fortunate enough to get 10 guys in 80 days, and we were able to get those guys through our connections and different things like that. So I think it can help. I do think the portal is something that can help programs. But some programs live on it so much. I really think that's a hard way to build continuity and build culture and build a program. And maybe here at Edinboro we can zag where everyone else is zigging and try to build it through some high school guys. If everybody else in our league is going straight portal, maybe we can build with some high school guys and then use the portal to supplement some areas that we need to help with and different things like that to help our program. So certainly being at that level has helped you, and it opens you up to a national recruiting base at the places I've been at, the United States Military Academy, Drexel, both national brands. We were able to recruit all across the country, and I think that can help us here at Edinboro as well.
Now, the roster, 8 guys in 80 days. I mean, you know everybody's name by now, I assume. But what was that like? Yeah. And unfortunately, this may be the new norm. I mean, this when you talk about building a program, can you build it out of the portal? Probably not. You're going to build it with your own guys and then sprinkle in. But for the folks out there that don't or can't appreciate, or can you try to shed some light on what 8 guys in 80 days must have been like?
It was a whirlwind for sure. You're drinking by a fire hose. You're trying to get everything settled, and you have all your family obligations as well, trying to sell a house, trying to move, get everything going, kids finishing school, all those things, and then you got to build a program and build a team here quickly. So it was a lot of work, a lot of phone calls, a lot of moving. Every day moving magnets around the board board and seeing, okay, if we get this kid, we maybe can't get this kid, or where's this guy fit if we can get here. And I was just going through some old notes yesterday on, like, I had a note that, hey, January 15th or June 15th, I had all these names on the board. And then August 15th, we had a whole completely new list of guys. So it was like just ripping the sheets. We had these giant sticky tabs we were using and all over the board as we were trying to improve our office. So, it was a whirlwind, but I really liked the group of guys we got. And the ones that said no, it was actually a blessing because we were able to get other guys that fit our culture and how we want to build this thing, and guys that are excited to do something special here at Edinboro.
Now, in terms of your identity, do you have the identity that you want, or are you dealing with an identity this year based on the guys that you were forced to, I don't want to say forced, but 8 guys in 80 days, sort of forced to take just so you had a roster? Or what, in terms of your personality as a coach, what should the fans anticipate? Yeah, I mean, we certainly want to play with pace and space, and maybe we weren't able to bring in as many shooters as we would normally have as we get this thing rolling, but we have brought in some other guys that can floor it a little bit, so it allows us to play a little bit differently than what we pictured when we took this over. So we can adapt. Our system and style of play is very adaptable to different players, and we're obviously going to be bringing in more shooting as we get going, but I think we got some guys. We also got some guys that may not have shot well at other places that are really starting to shoot the ball well in practice and developing their games a little bit. So we were really just looking for mindset and the right type of person, as much as the tangible skills on the court. It was more like, are these guys growth minded? Are they willing to do something special? Are they appreciative of the opportunity that they're getting? Are they going to respect each other and respect the process of being a champion? And are they going to come in and compete every day? And if we can do those things, and those guys that are willing to run through a wall for you, like, we're going to be fine. Now, you have a brutal schedule, Road Warriors, just one home non-con game. We won't see you till the Tuesday, November 21st. Tuesday, 21st, Roberts Wesleyan. 0-2 to start. Not ideal, especially with the first game. I mean, how frustrating is it when you look back and you were like, kind of gave that away? When you take that, and now as you are back on the road, Malone and Tiffin this week, what positives can you take? And I know that's a cliche thing to say, but it's one thing to get beat, but it's a different kind of feel when it feels like you lost. And I sort of felt like the one game. That was a missed opportunity. Yeah, certainly Friday night, a much improved West Virginia Wesleyan team we played, and we did a lot of good things. Our execution, we executed at a really high level and got great looks. At the end of the day, we were 5 for 25 from 3. For a team that's going to shoot a lot of threes and kind of live by that a little bit, if you're not going to drain it. And I like most of the looks. They weren't bad looks. I mean, maybe the other frustrating part was we got shots at the rim. We sat down and watched film, and there was 18 points of shots that were right in the rim between us and the basket that we just didn't convert. So obviously that's a big when our guys see that, it's a little bit frustrating, but we said after that game, this isn't going to define us. We're a culture, or we're a program that's building, and we're going to take this stuff. There's no failures. We talked about there's no failures. There's just learning opportunities, and Friday was a learning opportunity for us, and hopefully next time we get that shot, we'll be successful with it. So. I want to sort of stick with the topic of Friday. Glass half full, we scored 87 points. We were 5 of 25 from 3. We missed a bunch of shots. Glass half empty, you're 5 of 25 from 3. No doubt. I mean, would you go back to the drawing board, to your point of it wasn't all bad, you just got to make shots? But then my response to that would be is that if you can't make shots and you still scored 87 points, defensively you're making some opportunities for yourself. Yeah, absolutely. And it's like you sit there and watch, well, wow, if we made 5 layups out of the 9 that we missed, and we go 8 for 25, we scored 100 points. So in an offense where we haven't been getting up and down like crazy, we do execute in the half court a little bit. So it's super positive that our guys can see it. They see what the opportunities are and see there can be success down the road. But your kind of answer there, you guys scored 87 points. I think my answer was, we gave up 92. So we got to be much better defensively, and I think we were in game 2 against a powerhouse in Fairmont. Even though the score wasn't better, I thought as a team we played much better and got better as a program in that. And now the one thing that is I kind of felt with last year that they were a team that had to make shots to score. Are you going to be a team that has to make shots to score? The ball could get sticky a little bit, and it just, or is that? And that's a luxury. If you're able to still score without making shots, the 87 points is that a really bright spot to look at about how you can generate offense without making shots.
Yeah, and I think when you see us play, and you're going to be amazed by how the ball gets through hands. The ball is shared. It's going to be a different guy every night. It's not, obviously Bernie Blunt had 30 shots to one night, but that's not going to be every night. That's just the way the game got dictated. So you're going to see the ball get through hands. You're going to see the ball shared. It could be any guy in our starting five or guys off the bench that are our leading scorer for that night. So getting the ball through hands, sharing the basketball, being tough to guard, I think those are going to be staples of our program moving forward.
More Courtside with Justin Jennings, presented by Walker Brothers Chevrolet, serving Northwest Pennsylvania for more than 100 years, when we come back.
Factory Train Service, a full-service body shop that accepts all insurance and honest, no-nonsense deals on all new Chevrolets and used cars. Come in and see for yourself why we've been here for over 100 years. Call, click, or stop out. Walker Brothers Chevrolet.
Courtside with Justin Jennings here, presented by Walker Brothers Chevrolet. Coach, now we sort of look ahead. You got Malone, you're at Tiffin, and then finally we get to see you at home on the 21st. When you look at where you're at, and I want to sort of revisit the 8 guys in 80 days. You've given yourself a timeline and a goal, and I think that the uniqueness of the Division II schedule, when there is a legitimate Christmas break, that doesn't happen at the D1 level. How pleased are you right now? What do you need to see as you get into the break? And obviously the record matters, but PSAC West plays all that really matters. You can control your own destiny. So you mentioned August 15th, June 5th. Here we are, November 15th-ish. Are you pleased with what you got? Where do you need to be December 15th? Kind of walk us through. You've been, this whole time you've had the job, it's been a timeline. What needs to happen, by the break? Yeah,
I like our group. I really like our group. I think the growth mindset that each of them have, just with the, we went 0-2 over the weekend, but what can we learn from that? Where can we go? And they all came in hungry on Monday, ready to work, ready to get back in practice. We had a really healthy film session. And all these things, all these experiences that we're having, we're just learning together as a group. They're learning me, I'm learning them. We're figuring out things where we got to improve. As long as we can keep coming in with that mindset and growing, we're going to be successful down the line. I'm not too worried about that. I just want our group to stay together, and keep working towards that goal, just with that growth mindset. So am I excited where we're at? Yeah, you don't want to be 0-2, but I really like what our group's mindset and where we're going and where we're pushing, and we're just excited about the next opportunity.
What do you think number-wise a rotation looks like in your ideal world? If you're playing that way, it's probably not going to be 8. It might be 9 or 10. What do you, if you're in that up and down, are you going to play 10 guys every night? I think in an ideal world it is. We are getting a healthy 10 guys. But every game, every matchup dictates something different, and you see that a lot more at the Division II level, the different styles of play. One night there may be a big, the other night it may be 5 guards or perimeter oriented, and that dictates who you can play, how you can play, and things like that. And teams got to match up to us too as well. So maybe we got a really strong, spot with a guy right here, and we need to keep him on the floor a little bit longer and stuff like that. But ideally, we'd like to get to a 10-man rotation and get guys fluid. It's conversations we have as staff all the time. Hey, what's our rotation? What's our how? And we just really haven't figured a true rotation out yet. It's really been game by game, piece by piece that we're still trying to work through. Now, obviously, you've got some legit size in the end, but not much size, because it's basically saying. Now, do you see a plan or a scenario where they play a lot together? 7 foot and 6'8" in this league is very big. You don't see a whole lot of size like that. Or, you could go and put Bernie and Easton and Jack and have a bunch of guys that are barely scraping 6 foot out there.
Yeah. It's funny, people talk a lot about our length and size. Yeah, we got the 2 bigs, but our perimeter length isn't that great. But if you look at Friday night, we had 18 offensive rebounds. So sometimes, you can talk about size, but how do you use it, right? And our guys are flying to the glass, creating extra opportunities. Dante Wilcott at 6'1", or on a great day, right, is getting in there and mixing it up with other guys and playing much bigger. You'd rather have that 6'1" kid that's willing to mix it up than the 6'7" kid that can't get off his feet. So we're always adapting and trying to mix up lineups. We do have a package where we might play a couple bigs. We haven't thrown it out there in a game yet, but it's something that we have in our back pocket when needed to be different. But we're still trying to work through the base of what we're trying to get done.
Now, I've heard from the guys, and I've heard talk with DC. I mean, you guys are running some really high IQ basketball stuff. Is that a detriment? Because right now, this is a system that you're probably not going to pick up, every weekend. Does that give us even more hope for room for improvement when the language, the lingo, as the weeks and months start to wear on, where this is maybe just the tip of the iceberg with potential. What's that been like for so many new guys, and you trying to coach them up with something that's fringing on the NBA level of read and react type offense?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you would have saw us, Labor Day with this stuff as we are now, it'd be like 2 different teams. So I imagine the same growth is going to happen from now until February, and when we're in the thick of it in league play. So it can be intrinsic, and it's something you just have to get through in practice. But in our mind, it's simple to us and complex to the outside world. Like, it may look complex, but we want to do it so much where it's simple in our minds. And I think our guys have really bought into it. They're starting to speak Fighting Scott, which I've talked about before. We're really getting that language, that unified language all together. And we're excited to just keep moving forward with it. Each and every day we're adding something new or a new wrinkle. And we just added a couple side OBs today. And the way guys are picking it up, it gives me hope that we can just continue adding and keep moving forward with our install of this offense.
Courtside with Justin Jennings, presented by Walker Brothers Chevrolet, serving Northwest Pennsylvania for more than 100 years. Coach, best of luck. Couple more roadies before we see you at home on the 21st.
All right, thank you. Go Burrow.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll do it again next time.